The 6.5 resolution of vectors into rectangular component. So to add two vector, we can use the components instead of doing the sine law, cosine law. But just turning the vectors to the components. So each vector has x component and has a y component. For x component, because this is the theta, so adjacent will be your x component. So adjacent means cosine. It's going to be v cosine theta. I can show you using the trigonometric ratio. So sine theta is opposite. So it's going to be Vy or V here. It's going to be Vy divided by V. And here is x component. So cosine theta is Vx adjacent over hypotenuse is over V. As you see here, rearrange for Vy is going to be Vy equals sine multiplied by V. As you see here, make sure I put the absolute value. It means this is the magnitude of the hypotenuse. And Vy is V multiplied by sine. As you see here is Vy and here is Vx. And Vx is V cosine theta. Again, this is Vx, this is Vy. We want to find a component of the vector. We have an angle. This is how you turn it into the components. So let's just look at this question. A box weighing 140 is resting on a ramp that is inclined at an angle of 20. Resolve the weight into the rectangular vector component that keeps the box at rest. So this is the ramp we have. This is the box. The weight is downward, so this is 140 Newton. If this is 20 degree, okay, my x and y axis, I put it the y axis to be perpendicular to the surface and the x axis to be horizontal to the surface. So if this is 20, so this is 90 degree, this will be 70. 70 plus 20 is 90, so it should be add up to 90. And look at this, this is 90 degrees, so this should be 20 as well. So I have this angle that is making the weight, the gravitational force, making the y-axis. So I can make this one into two components, x and y. This is my x component. And here is the y component. So the y component need to cancel the normal force, right? Because object is not moving up and down. It means all of the forces on y-axis need to cancel. So here we had a normal, and we have a friction, right? So this is friction. So x components of your weight need to cancel the friction force canceling the x component of your weight, and force of normal canceling the y component. So since the y component is going to be adjacent, so it's going to be 140. Adjacent means cosine. Cosine of 20. And the x component going to be 140. Opposite, right? Opposite means sine. Sine 20. So this is going to be f of g in y direction. And here going to be f of g in x direction. Again, f of g in x direction need to cancel friction. So friction is that sine 20, 140 sine 20, and the normal force is 140 cosine 20. Means your normal need to cancel the y component. Here is another question. Determine the horizontal and the vertical vector a component of the force with the magnitude of 560 Newton at 21 degree counterclockwise. So if this is counterclockwise, so you have to go counterclockwise from north, 21 counterclockwise. Then 90 minus 21 is going to be 69. The y component is opposite. Opposite means sign. So here is the y component. It's 560 sine 69. And adjacent going to be cosine. So it's going to be x component. 560 cosine of 69. That would be the resultant of x and y component. So for the worksheet here, you can do question number 1, CDE. You can do question number 2, question number 3, and question number 7.